Hey there, welcome to another Heavy Metal Diecast video. Today's example, I'm going to do a little bit of a comparison. This is going to be the first time we'll try and do this. What we've got here is a Dornier Dio 335. The foil, or the arrow, it was a heavy fighter developed by Germany during World War II. The unique thing about this fighter, it had a push-pull configuration, so an engine at the front, engine at the rear. But only a handful of these were to see operational service, with a total of 37 built before the end of World War II. But what we'll do is we've got a sort of a generic one here, sort of the D'Agostini type magazine type one. It's got the same markings. It seems to be a very similar aircraft, and we've got the IXO one here in a nice little box and packaging and everything like that. It's got the same tail number. There's a slight difference in the colour between the two, but all the items, the wheels and everything look identical. So what we're going to do, we're going to do a bit of a comparison and see what you want to spend your hard-earned money on. This one cost me, including the delivery, was around $50, and this one cost me, including the delivery, around $105. So it all comes down to if you like yours in a pretty box or anything like that. And we'll do a little comparison of the two and see how they both sit, and you can make your own mind up. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll put the expensive one out of the way, and we'll get stuck straight into the cheaper version of the pair. So as you can see, it's just like those typical magazine type ones. We'll just see if we can get to open it, so bear with me. What I'll do is I'll open this off camera so you don't have to. Okay, so I've done all the hard work, so there we go. It's just got that typical backing. We'll just plonk that over, and we'll just take that outer casing off, and that should be pretty straightforward. And there we have the beast itself. So it's got your landing gear, your typical sort of setup from these ones. It's got your landing gear for and propellers and everything like that. So we'll just take the aircraft out itself. Look, to be honest, it feels nice. It's got a decent weight to it. As you can see, the panel lines here are quite nice. It's got some really nice cockpit details, and if we can get some proper focus on it, it's actually not a bad sized aircraft. As you can see with the sausage finger test, it is quite a decent size. You can see the markings and everything like that. It's got the engine exhaust and everything there. It's got the tail markings, number 102. So obviously that's where one of the propellers goes, and the other propeller obviously goes in the nose here. You can see the air intake here, same on the other side, the air intake there. But overall the presentation of the aircraft is, very nice. And we'll just flip her over on its back, and as you can see, it's the usual standard sort of magazine type underneath detail. It is, what I'll do is I'll chuck the landing gear on, so I assume this one just goes in like so, and like so, and the front one I gather just in the front here, and that's the landing gear in. This little piece here that you can just slot in like so. That's for the gear door sections. So and then you have the propeller blades that will slip right in the back. I don't think there's any specific one. They're all identical, so you can just put the other propellers on the front here. I'll double check. Well, it doesn't come off, so that must mean that's correct, and it spins freely. So as you can see, that's the beast in all its glory there. We'll just zoom in a little bit. So it does come with your traditional stand and base, and just fits like the usual sort of deal. And we'll just it's just got that location hole just here, as you can see, typical standard deal. So it still feels like a very reasonable sort of sized aircraft, and there you have it on the stand. So as you can see, look, for $50, it's very presentable. All panel lines and everything like that are very nice on it. I'm pretty happy with it. I don't have an issue with it. The propellers do manipulate to put them into a different position you may want them in. But what we'll do is we'll put this one to the side, and we will get stuck into the $105 IXO one, the one that's twice the price, and we'll see how comparable they are. So I'll move him out of the way. And there we have it. So what I'll do is I'll open this up. And there we have it with a nice little packet. Has a nice box, nice little details. This one's got little instructions. But what we'll do is we'll have a look at the beast itself. What do you reckon? Alright, so this is the other one. So as you can see, it's it feels the same, feels identical as the cheaper version. Probably the most noticeable thing is the actual variance in the colour here. So the shades are a bit more ochre in it, a lot sort of different in the green's a bit more olivey. Yeah, there's a lot more sort of ochre tone within the paintwork, but it's the decals, the actual paint striping is in identical positions. Everything is identical. As you can see, the tail markings are the same, number 102. Identification numbers are all exactly the same. So look, it's up to you. I mean, although I do preference this colour variant, it's just up to you whether you want to pay $50 odd for the cheaper one or double the price for the IXO one that comes in a little box. As you saw in the packet, it just does come with all the exact same accessories, although I noticed in mine it didn't come with a stand, whereas the cheaper one came with a stand. Maybe they forgot a stand in my one. It does have the allocation hole here for the exact same stand, so I'm assuming it does come with a stand. But look, I won't go putting the gears on and everything on camera. It is exactly identical. So what I'll do is I'll chuck the propellers and gears on off camera quickly, and I'll be right back in a second. So we are back, and as you can see, the propellers do spin nice and freely. The birds are all excited about that. It is a nice morning here in Melbourne. Look, it's exactly the same. It's got the other one has all the little bits for the little doors. I'll flip it back over, and look, it's to be honest, it comes down to your preference, really. Look, I actually do like this shade. It's more of an ochre shade. I do prefer that coloration compared to the other one, which seems a little bit darker, but I don't know which one is more accurate to the representation of the actual aircraft in reality. As I said, they do have the exact same tail markings, identification numbers, everything's exactly the same. These are the exact same aircraft, just there's a slight coloration difference, a bit more ochre in the colours here, so it's more olivey, and yeah, look, but overall they're both, I mean, to me they're both the same aircraft. It's just one you're paying $50 odd for with a bit of a darker paint scheme, and one you're paying a bit over $100 for just with the lighter, more ochre paint scheme. But every other aspect of the model is identical, down to the details, the panel lines, every possible thing is identical. So it comes down to your personal preference, I think. That's what it'll come down to, two things: your preference and your budget, how much you want to spend, and compare. But as you can see, look, I mean, the details for both price ranges, it's still a reasonable detailed aircraft no matter what you're paying. But what I'll do is I'll put this bad boy down. And we'll bring over the cheaper version, which is still in the stand, so you'll be able to use the exact same stand on both of these. And as you can see, they are pretty much, yeah, identical. So look, as I said, it comes down to your preference, whether you like the cheaper version here with the slightly darker greens, or if you preferred the little bit dearer one with the more ochre in its green. So what I'll do is I'll take photos of both these aircraft together, and separately after this video, so stay tuned till after that, so you can see them without obviously the sausage fingers in the way. They're both good aircraft. It just, as I said, it just comes down to what you want to spend. And so stay tuned till after the conclusion of this video, and I'll chuck those pictures up. And yeah, look, if you can spare it, give us a like and even subscribe to the channel. And look, as I said, it all comes down to your preference, to whether what you want to spend, what you prefer, what coloration you prefer as well. They're both good models, and they're both, you know, very good in each case. So it comes down to your own personal preference. But I just thought I'd put a little comparison video up for the first time. All right, guys, I've been waffling on enough. I'll leave it all with you. And yeah, thanks again for coming, and have a great rest of your day. Cheers.